Hello everyone, it's good to be here again. It's Michelle sharing all of my arty work, projects, things I'm playing with. So I'm going to move down my screen and today I'm going to be doing a little postcard, and you'll be thinking, oh no, it's a Christmas bauble. And yes, it's because I'm getting some things ready to go to a Christmas arts and crafts fair if I can. But first of all, I wanted to show you this, which goes, yeah, it's kind of just about in shot, goes across a double page spread of my Indigo Artway sketchbook. I just stuck a very few pieces of collage paper in, and then sketched over the top. And I really loved how this came out. There's a little bit off the end there that you can't see, but hopefully you can see where I've got those bits of collage stuck in. And all I used was my Art Graph soft carbon pencil to do all of the black lines. I did use a little bit of a fine liner. Other than that, a little bit of watercolour. So, and I reactivated some of the Art Graph to get these roofs in and to soften some of the lines. But I had great fun doing that. And yeah, let me know down below if you would like to see me do something similar. So yeah, just a little quickie there before we start on our little Christmas bauble postcard. So this is a 4x6 watercolor postcard. It's 300 GSM. They come in little packs like this. I've got several of them. This just happens to be a scrawler box one, but yeah, I've had Sea White of Brighton and all sorts of other makes. They're really quite handy for just doing little pieces of work, and you know, you can then stick them on the front of a card if you wanted to, or post them as is. So I've also got my Daniel Smith, or some of my Daniel Smith paints out today. These are the colours that are in my tin, and it's an old core, upside down, an old core tin that had tubes of core paint in, and I've just repurposed it basically with a few of my favourite Daniel Smith colours. I've got my water. I've basically just done a circle with a little piece on the top of my string, and I used this little roll of sellotape to draw around. I've gone over that with my platinum carbon fountain pen, which is waterproof, and I've got 3 brushes out at the ready. These are the Van Gogh, and one is a size 12, one is a size 8, and one is a size 4. So I think we're kind of ready. And I'm going to start by using my bigger brush. And I think I'm going to use, oh shit, what shall we use? Shall we use, I want something that's gonna, Lunar Blue. Let's use Lunar Blue, which is here. So let's get some of this Lunar Blue going. And much like all true artists, we just keep using the palette, basically. So let's see if we can start by getting our bauble done, but I'm going to be leaving some kind of white spaces so that it gives the impression of the light bouncing off the bauble. So I might leave quite a big piece in the middle there, just to show the light. And then I'm going to darken up at the bottom here, I think. Just make that a bit, bearing in mind that watercolour dries lighter anyway. So that we've got that kind of bauble-y shape going on, and a bit of light bouncing off of it. And for my little bit on the top there, which I'll have to do quite carefully, I'm going to use some Aussie Red Gold. Let's do you in there. So let's just very carefully get that in there, like so. And then I'm going to use my size 8. And I'm going to get some leaves going. Shall we use olive green? I've got a bit of olive green going there. And let's grab a bit of undersea green as well. Which is quite a bit darker. I don't know where I put that now. Never mind. And it says that I can get some variation with my leaves. So let's get some leaves in, and I'm just gonna tilt this a bit, which will help me. And there's my first leaf, and perhaps we'll just dab in a bit of that undersea green as well. And we'll get another one going. And I'm leaving a little bit of a gap in between, if you can see. Perhaps we'll just use the undersea green next. And get one in there. Perhaps we can have one. Let's just turn this around a bit so I can get my brush to do what I want it to do. One there. So we've got all these quite nice different coloured greens going on. Maybe I'll even add to my lunar blue and get some of that going on as well. I need to tilt that again. So we can get another leaf. Perhaps we'll have one going up there. So these are starting to run into each other a little bit, but that's okay. And then coming out there. We don't want to go overboard. I really do want to darken that down a bit now, so let's add some Payne's Grey in there. And I want to get some little berries in there. Like that, just a few little berries in there. Which is rather nice. And I'm wondering whether to get my golds and silvers. These are the Calero pearl colours, because we've got this sterling silver colour, and I think I might just add a little bit of that to my bauble. So let's take my size 8 and we'll just get this activated. So this is just a very simple little card. I'm going to be doing a couple more in this video, not all baubles, but maybe like me, some of you are getting things ready, you know, getting Christmas cards and things ready. Yeah, I'm just want to have that quite, yeah. So I've just added a little bit in there, not too much. Because we don't want it to be, I'm going to dry that because I think because it's wet, you're not going to be able to see that too well on the screen. So bear with me. Okay, let's take our tape off. Not that we particularly needed it other than to keep everything in place. Oh, that's kind of torn a little bit. That's a shame. There we go. And move you out of the way and bring you up so that you can see there's just a little bit of shine on that. And very simple but very effective little postcard, or you could do it as a Christmas card. Obviously I'm making lots of these postcards at the moment. I've got lots of them, so I'm using them up, and I've got little frames that I'm going to be putting them in, little cellophane bags that keep them clean. So there we go, there's our first one. So let's get started on our second little postcard or card, and let's do a, I am terrible at leaving my brushes in the water. Don't do that. Basically what happens is you ruin the wooden bit here. It all starts peeling away, but also the glue that keeps the brushes into the, is it called the ferrule? I'm not sure, but anyway, it starts disintegrating and then you ruin your brush. So don't do like I do, as they say. Right, I think I want to get a little bit of a mixture of my, let's go with the lighter green. I want to add some gold into it. Which gold shall I use? Let's use this moon gold. So let's get that all nicely worked up. And I'm going to spritz the card because I want a bit of a background on this one. So there we go, we've spritzed our card. Let's get some of this green in then. We'll get more green at the bottom. And then we want some of our gold in there. Make it quite a decadent little card or postcard. There we go. So that's, again, it's so wet it's not going to show up on the background, but whilst it's still wet, I'm going to do some little splodges in the background. What colour shall we make those? Let's go with well, let's stick with our greens, shall we? But let's go with the undersea green. I'm just going to make that a bit more watery. Just so as we've got some interesting things going on in our background. Then we want that to dry. There we go. So yeah, hopefully you can see it's got just a bit of shimmer in the background there, and it is just serving as a background basically. Then I'm going to get some cow parsley in. So let's get a few, and I'm using my Derwent Inktense Payne's Grey for those of you that want to know what I'm using. Okay, so they're my stalks basically. So move everything over so that I can so stylized, I suppose would be the word for this. There we go. So we've got our little cow parsleys, and then we need our little bits on the end. So we're just going to scribble those bits on the end there. They're just little squiggles really, and some of those are kind of going off the page anyway. So we've got those there, and then we're going to get some, to make it a bit more Christmassy, we're going to get some berries going on. So I'm still going to use this. Let's see, we have one branch there, and then we can have some kind of them coming off. So one there, maybe one in the middle here. and one coming in from this corner. So that's where I'm going to be putting my little berries. Now I need a colour for my berries, and to be honest, there isn't a red in here. Let's see, I've got Rose of Ultramarine. So let's just clear off a patch so that I've got somewhere to do my mixing. There we go. Very lazy, I know. And, well, actually, to do my mixing of my colours. Right, I'm going to use my Rose of Ultramarine. Which actually looks stunning against the green. Maybe if I take... what about Ultramarine Turquoise? Oh, that's going to make a nice purpley colour. Okay, so I think you'll notice I haven't mixed it completely because what I want to do is get a little bit of everything going on. So I'm going to get my little berries in next. That way I get some that are pinker, although I don't think that's coming up so well on the screen. Some that are a lot pinker and some that are more mauve. The ideas for all of these postcards were on Pinterest, if anyone is interested. There we go, so we've got those. Now I want to get my gold pen. One gold pen. And hopefully a white pen, yes. But first, let's dry. Got to press the play again when I was recording. So I just want to show you where I added the gold swirls, some little gold stars, and I added a little bit of white to each of the berries. And that's basically all I did to finish that card. So apologies. Keep watching because I do another card, and yeah, I think I get the recording right this time. Right, let's get some nice leaves and berries going on this one. So what colour shall I use? Let's go with, where's my sepia? Let's just add that to make it, that was my what was that, Aussie red gold in there. Yeah, just to make a, I don't want it quite as dark as a sepia, basically. and then we'll have this stalk kind of coming up. Maybe some little branches coming off. Like so. Go back to my size 8. Now we're going to do some leaves again. So let's get a bit more of my undersea green in there. And a bit of the lunar blue. Or actually, let's add a bit of the Payne's grey in there. That's going to be better. Yes. Right, let's get some of our leaves going again. I'm probably going to be going over these branches, but that doesn't really matter. We just want a fair few. And maybe even some that are smaller, some that are baby leaves. With some baby leaves. So we've got these coming across, and yeah, maybe going up like that. I'm going to need my berries again. So where's my berry mixture? There it is. So let's take the rose of ultramarine, and this time, well, I'm going to need more rose of ultramarine now. This time I've added Payne's grey. I've got a much darker purple. And maybe we can have, let's have one coming out of there. Round that off a bit more. So we've got 3 little berries at the bottom there, and maybe if I go in with this on its own, I can get one that's kind of hiding behind that one, just to make it 5 berries on there. Okay, so let's do a bit of drying again. Next, gold pen again, and I'm just going to do some leaves that are gold, but they're slightly smaller than the other leaves. So I'm not going overboard with my gold. But I might. Yes, I really want to. Come on, let's get it in there. I'm just going to do a few little gold dots. Like so. So let me take this one off. Which way do we go? The other way. Yes. And let's see if my idea worked or didn't work. Oh, wow. Well, I would have to say I think that worked. So if I bring that up, you can now see what happened with the art graph soft carbon pencil. And there we have another little postcard. So all in all, let's remove everything that's in my way. And there we go, three pretty easy cards. What have I done them in? 3 cards in 30 minutes. There you go, 10 minutes each. Wow. So if you're someone that likes to get going with your Christmas card stock, then ta-da, I've given you a head start. So have fun playing with that. And yeah, I think I will probably be having a bit more of a go at using this collage effect. So stay posted, get subscribed, it's free, get notified when I put my videos up 2 or 3 times a week, and that way you won't miss out on anything. Thank you for watching, everyone.